Thank you for joining our discussion, Trent.
My pleasure.
During your time with the Amtrak Northeast Corridor, you saw the development of some notable weather-related events that impacted the railroad's right-of-way. Can you tell us about the challenges of rising water tables and the long-term challenge of sea level rise and increasing storm surge?
Absolutely. The area that we're concerned about with the storm surge and very surface water tables is along the shoreline of the Northeast Corridor, and that encompasses just south of the New Haven, Connecticut station, and just north of just south of the New London, Connecticut station, and north of the New Haven, Connecticut station. It's roughly about a 40 miles of track, and there's some specific areas that are prone to water table problems, being mud spots where the water comes up to the surface of the rail bed and it has to be dealt with through we call it vacuum cleaning, and also we have a couple of areas that are storm surge vulnerable along that shoreline route. Some of that area has been fortified with barriers and to mitigate some of the storm surge that is created by either hurricanes coming up from the south, north along the Atlantic coast, or the nor'easters storms that come down from the north along the Atlantic coast. The good news is that in 2010, just the year before I started on the corridor, the company came out with a design of an NSC Northeast Corridor Infrastructure Master Plan, and that would encompass dealing with correcting further corrections of the shoreline issues that are dealt with rising sea levels and storm surge and rain events that cause the mudding in the area to be cause the rail bed to be a little unstable. So that plan was updated while I was there during 2012 and beyond. The infrastructure plan goes out as far as 2040, and the improvements were stair-stepped in segment phases that started underway during the time I was there, and I was limited involvement in some of that decision-making process. What has happened currently and up to this point is that the rail bed has been fortified along the shoreline and bridges, that tunnels and bridges from Boston to New York have been either rebuilt or are being rebuilt. The goal is to have all the bridges rebuilt or revamped from New York to Washington, D.C. as well. So part of the infrastructure plan was to move the tracks specifically for the Acela high-speed rail train sets, so they're not impacted by the shoreline and the water table events and the storm surge events that occur along the shoreline, and move them inland. So that process will go underway 2030 through 2040, and it will encompass a direction that will lead from Boston towards direction. It would be from Providence, Rhode Island. The Acela train main line will divert through Hartford, Connecticut, and pick up stations at Hartford, Waterbury, and Danford, Connecticut, and then meet up again with the existing Northeast Corridor at New Rochelle, New York station, which is currently in use. The concept for the high-speed rail to go inland is a two-phase project. One will be a Super Express Acela that will travel from Boston and to Washington, with only station stops at New York, Philadelphia, and Washington. And the goal is to have that those Acela timetables to go one-way trip from Boston to Washington, D.C., in less than 2 hours. A second Acela train set will pick up the second Acela train set schedule will pick up station stops at New Haven, or not New Haven, excuse me, Hartford, Waterbury, and Danbury, and the meet up at New Rochelle again, and head south to Washington. And that train set will be a 3-hour ride from Boston to New York. The plan then is just to have along the shoreline, the existing Northeast corridor travel will be just for the regionals, and the regionals are not as affected by the rising water tables as the Acelas are. The regional train sets only travel at 79 miles an hour, and they're properly serviced along the main line with the current mitigating process we have with the barriers for storm surge and for mitigating the water puddles that are created, and they're vacuumed up along the way.
Another notable weather event was the nor'easter of January 2015. Can you tell us about the record-breaking snowfall and the long-term weather-related impacts?
Well, that was a fabulous event to live through, and I'm glad I could say I lived through it. It was a record-breaking snowfall event, and it started off as the normal winter storms rolled into the New England area in January, mid-January, not mid-January, the end of first week of January 2015. And the storms would come in, snowstorms would come in almost every other day. We'd wake up to anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of snow, new snow that accumulated. And it continued that way until the 26th of January. And that's when the nor'easter, coupled with a Alberta clipper snow weather event coming down from Alberta, Canada, that really gave us impact that devastated the New England area, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New York, parts of New York. And as you can imagine, that when you have a weather event like that, you have more than just snow. We had blowing winds of 75 miles per hour with gusts of 100, which was phenomenal. And just to give you an idea, that along the Northeast corridor, because we have electrical overhead catenary system that delivers the power for our train sets, the regionals and the high-speed train sets. If the weather event gets to wind speeds of 50 miles per hour, we have to get crews out and monitor the rail and the catenary lines so that we can mitigate any kind of branches being blown off into the catenary wires and causing problems along the corridor. And sometimes we have been shut down along segments of the corridor until those areas can be cleared of debris and the catenary can be repaired. But with 70 miles an hour winds, it's an automatic shutdown on the corridor. And with the weather event of January 2015, we had, as I said, with constant wind speeds of 75 miles per hour and gusts of 100. So I was up at work as usual in Boston, and on the 26th, 27th, we got hammered. Boston had not only with accumulated snow that had been present throughout the month of January, we had a record-breaking snowfall of 2 feet that hit Boston and shut everything down in the Boston area. Governor Baker declared a state of emergency on the 27th, and everything came to a grinding halt. There was no transportation, be it public or private transportation, other than emergency vehicles and personnel that were needed for repairs along any right of way on the highways. But it was a phenomenal event in the sense that I was looking out the office onto the Boston area downtown, and all I could see was snow and no people. It was such an eerie experience. I was stranded for about 3 or 4 days in Boston because there was no transportation available. But as crews were able to move the snow and we get snow off the right of way of the main line, we were able to restore a service by the third or fourth day. And I was able to get home on the fourth day and back with my wife that was also stranded and back in Marshfield, Massachusetts. But it was a phenomenal event, and I'm glad I could say I lived through it. And it was historic, no doubt.
Thank you for sharing your experiences on the Amtrak Northeast Corridor with us.